Hello everyone, how are you? As most of you are concerned about the CSAT paper, that what should be the approach for the changing pattern of CSAT paper and how to solve the questions, where to focus. So if you have these thoughts and you are worried about CSAT, you don't have to, because now you are at the right place. And here on day-to-day basis, we are going to understand the CSAT paper. We are going to solve the important topics from the CSAT point of view. Let's start. Today we are going to start with number system, and the things that you see on your screen is basically cyclicity of a number. So each column represents a power of a number. Like first column is for 2, 2 to the power 1, then 2 to the power 2, then 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 5, and it goes on. Every red number gives you an idea that after this number, the unit digit will be repeating itself. Like see, 2 to the power 1 is 2, 2 to the power 2 is 4, 2 to the power 3 is 8, 2 to the power 4 is 16, and then again 2 to the power is 32, which is 2 again at the unit digit. 2 to the power 6 is 64, 4 is the unit digit. And if you take a look at 2 to the power 1 and 2, it's 2 and 4. 2 to the power 3 is 8 and 2 to the power 7 is also 128. So unit digit is 8. So after every red number, it starts repeating itself at unit digit. And this will help you to find out the unit digit of any number or any multiplication. So you can take a look. For 3, again after 3 to the power 4, it starts repeating itself. For 4, after 4 to the power 4, it starts repeating itself. For 7, after 7 to the power 4, it starts repeating itself. So here is a summary. I have given you the cyclicity. You can take a screenshot because we are going to solve problems based on it. The cyclicity for 2 is 4. Cyclicity for 3 is 4. Cyclicity for 4 is 2. Cyclicity for 5 and 6 is 1. Cyclicity for 7 and 8 is 4. Cyclicity for 9 is 2. Now suppose the question is given that what will be the cyclicity of 3 to the power n. So simply divide that n by the cyclicity of that number. So what is the cyclicity of 3? It's 4. So divide n by 4. Whatever is the remainder, just find that. Suppose the remainder is 2. So 3 to the power 2, 3 square is 9. 3 to the power 2 is 9. So 9 will be the unit digit. If it is 3, 3 to the power 3 is 27. So what is at the unit digit? It's 7. So 7 will be your unit digit. Let's solve some problem. It will give you more clarity. Here I have taken 3 questions. I will solve 2, and second one, the B one, you will have to solve on your own. First is 3 to the power 123. What is the cyclicity for 3? 4. Simply divide 123 by 4. And when we divide that, what is the remainder? The remainder is 3. You can solve it on your paper as well. You can divide 123 by 4. You will get the remainder as 3. Means we have 3 to the power 3. And 3 to the power 3 is 27. So what is the last digit? 7. 6 to the power 21. 6 has the cyclicity of 1. So whatever is the power of 6, it's always 6. Last digit will be 6. Same goes with 5. Whatever is the power of 5, it's always 5. Another is 8 to the power 21. So solve this and give me the answer in the comment section. Next, there is an expression 3 to the power 420 into 7 to the power 53 into 9 to the power 43. Let's understand, when there is a multiplication, then how do we find the unit digit? Suppose we have to find the unit digit of 85 into 87 into 25 into 71. We simply take the unit digits of each number. So for 85, unit digit is 5, 87 has 7, 25 has 5, 71 has 1. Take all the unit digits, that is 5 into 7 into 5 into 1. Multiply them, you will get 175. So what is the unit digit here? 5. Unit digit will be 5. Now let's solve the above question. If 3 to the power 420, what is the power 420? So we divide 420 by the cyclicity of 3. The cyclicity of 3 is 4. 420 by 4 will give you the remainder as 0. In that case, when the remainder is 0, you find the power of the cyclicity. What is the cyclicity of 3? It's 4. So 3 to the power 4 is 81. What will be the unit digit? 1. Next is 7 to the power 53. What is the cyclicity for 7? Again it's 4. So divide 53 by 4, the remainder will be 1. And 7 to the power 1 is 7. 9 to the power 43. Again the cyclicity for 9 is 2. So remainder will be 1. And 9 to the power 1 is 9. Now you have all the unit digits 1, 7 and 9. Now just use some logic and tell me what should be the answer. Next question is similar type, but here instead of multiplication it is asking for the summation. So it's simple. Again let's see some example first. Suppose we have to find out the sum last digit of a sum 85 plus 87 plus 25 plus 71. We simply take the unit digits, that is 5 plus 7 plus 5 plus 1. That will give you 18. So what is at the unit digit? 8. Now you can calculate all the unit digits here. Like 4 to the power 25 has 4 at unit digit. 8 to the power 333 has 8 at unit digit. 7 to the power 45. Again 7 to the power 45. If we divide by 4, so remainder is 1. So 7 to the power 1 is 7. So we have unit digit as 4, 8 and 7. In previous question it was multiplication, but here it is asking you for the summation. So we will add 4 plus 8 plus 7. That is 19. So at unit digit we have 9. Divisibility of numbers. Divisibility by 2. Any even number is divisible by 2. Now what is even number? Where the unit digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. So when number at unit digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, then it is divisible by 2. Divisibility by 3. When sum of all digits is a multiple of 3. Let's understand by an example. Suppose 243. If we have to find out that whether 243 is divisible by 3 or not, simply we add 2 plus 4 plus 3. That is 9. And 9 is divisible by 3, means 243 is divisible by 3. 1098. Add all the digits. 1 plus 9 plus 8. That will give you 18. 18, again we can add these digits. 1 plus 8 equal to 9. Or simply we can see 18 is also divided by 3. So 1098 or 1098 is divisible by 3. Divisibility by 4. If the last two digits of a number are divisible by 4, then that number is divisible by 4. Here I have taken a 6-digit number. 1,98,624. And it is asking whether the number is divisible by 4 or not. So what are the two digits? Last two digits I mean. It's 24, and we know 24 is divisible by 4. Divisibility by 5. The last digit should be 0 or 5, like 1090, 20,545 and so on. Let's solve some problem. There are more divisibility rules. We will complete them in coming chapter, next video. Before that, let's solve some problems. Suppose we take a number 16. Now we have to find the nearest to 16 that is divisible by 6. What do? We simply divide the 16 by 6, right? And we will get the remainder as 4. Now if we subtract the 4 from 16, what will be the value? 12. And 12 is divisible by 6. What can be the next value? What is the difference between the 6 and 4? It's 2. So if we add the 2 into the number, so the number is 16. If we add 2, it will be 18. Again 18 is divisible by 6. Right? My point is, suppose the question is about that a number is given and it is asking you for the next number. Okay. So you divide that number. Like here the number is 16 and it is asking for the next number that is divisible by 6. So whatever is the remainder, and whatever is the remainder, you simply find the gap between the 6 and the remainder, and then you add that number to the given number. Given number is 16, remainder is 4. The difference between 4 and 6 is 2. So you add 2 plus 16, that is 18. Let's solve some problems. You will get more clarity. first question is, what is the smallest number that is divisible by 2, 3 and 7? This simply means that it is asking you to find the LCM. So 2, 3 and 7 all are prime numbers. So they will simply multiply to get the LCM. We multiply 2 into 3 into 7, that is 42. So 42 is the smallest number that is divisible by 2, 3 and 7. Next is, what is the smallest number that is divisible by 12, 8 and 18? The numbers are not prime, so we will have to find the LCM again. So I am doing this, you can see by the traditional method, and I have tried this method. I have put on the right side 12, 8 and 18, and then in the left side I have divided them by the smallest factors. First factor is 2, so we continue with the 2, and after dividing the 12, 8 and 18 by 2 for the 3 times, we get 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. That gives us 72. So that number is 72. I hope you know how to find the LCM. If you do not know, please let me know. In my next video, I will also discuss what are the factors, how to find the factors, and how to find the LCM as well as HCF. Next question is, find the largest 3-digit number that is completely divisible by 35. First of all, what is the largest 3-digit number? It's 999. If we add another one, then it's 1000, which is the smallest 4-digit number. Now it is asking to find the largest 3-digit number that is completely divisible by 35. So first of all, we will divide 999 by 35 and we'll find the remainder. When we do that, we'll find the remainder 19. Now if we add the difference between 35 and 19 to 999, that number is divisible by 35. Also, if we subtract the remainder into 999, that number is also divisible by 35. But when we add the difference between the 35 and 19 to 999, it will become a 4-digit number. And the question is about the largest 3-digit number. So the best we can do is subtract the remainder. And if we do that, we will find 999 minus 19. That will give 980 as the correct answer. Next is, what is the smallest 4-digit number that is divisible by 12? So the smallest 4-digit number is 1000. Divided 1000 by 12. You will find remainder as 4. Okay. Now, if we subtract this remainder, then we will get 996. That is a 3-digit number. Divisible by 12, but 3-digit number. And we have to find the 4-digit number. So we will add the difference between 12 and remainder. Remainder is 4. So the difference between 12 and 4 is 8. So we will add 8 into the 1000 and that will give us 1008. And that 1008 will be the right answer. You can check it by dividing 1008 by 12. Next question is, if two numbers are each divided by the same number, the remainder are respectively 3, 4 and 3. If again the sum of the numbers are divided by the same divisor, the remainder now is 7. The divisor is. Option is 3, 9, 5 and 7. 3 cannot be the option because 3 will never give you the remainder 4. Plus also we have remainder as 4 and 3. Simply add the remainder. 4 plus 3 equal to 7. Now tell me what should be the answer. Because if we add both the numbers, okay. So we will have to add both this 4 plus 3 as well. Let me tell you in a different way. Suppose a number is divided by 5 completely. Let's say 10 and 20. So if we add both the numbers, the addition of these two numbers is again divisible by 5. Similarly here, if two numbers give you a remainder of 4 and 3 when divided by the same number, means when we add these two numbers, so the remainder will be 4 plus 3, okay, and we will divide it by the same number, so the remainder is given as 2 now. So when we do this, 7, we divide a number by 7, we are taking the remainder. So 7, and now we divide it by a number that will give you the remainder 2. 9 is not possible, 7 is not possible. So what is left? 5. If you are not able to understand this question, let me know. I will give you some another methods. So this was the day 1, and today we have solved some number system based questions. Tomorrow again we will solve some questions on it. All the best.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civil's Daily.